There is a new detail about Maxton Hall Season 3 that explains exactly why the final chapter will be the most devastating one yet. We might already know what is going to happen next based on the Season 2 cliffhanger, but there is one problem that changes the dynamic between Ruby and James just as they found their way back to each other. This hidden connection between Ruby's sudden suspension and James's history of blackmail means one major character is going to be affected in a way that puts their entire future at Oxford at risk. You are watching Screen Explain. The ending of Season 2 was not just a misunderstanding. It was a calculated strike by the Beaufort family. Because a photo of Ruby and Professor Sutton was leaked to the school board, Ruby is now facing expulsion and the loss of her scholarship. This is going to lead to a Clear My Name arc, where James has to prove that he wasn't the one who betrayed Ruby, despite all evidence pointing directly at him. This happens because the plot of Season 3, based on the book Save Us, focuses on the terrible truth behind the frame-up. With Mortimer Beaufort's grip on the family tightening after Cordelia's death, the disruption enters the story through a fake will and a web of financial secrets. This will lead to a direct confrontation between James and his father because James realizes that to save Ruby's graduation, he must dismantle the very empire he was born to inherit. So now the core question becomes, can James truly function outside of the Beaufort world? We saw his struggle with self-destruction in Season 2, and this final season removes his safety net entirely. This forces Ruby to realize that her dream of Oxford isn't just about her grades anymore. It's about whether she can survive the emotional whirlwind of James's social circle without losing herself. A likely outcome for Season 3 is a massive legal battle over the Beaufort estate. This is the obvious direction because James and Lydia need their mother's assets to gain independence from Mortimer. This forces a transition where James stops being a student and starts being a protector, which might lead to a bittersweet ending where they get into Oxford, but the Maxton Hall they once knew is completely destroyed. Which leads to the final consequence. If James cannot find the real will, he remains a pawn in his father's game. If he succeeds, he and Ruby prove that their worlds aren't too far apart to coexist. So will James sacrifice his crown to save Ruby's future, or will the weight of the Beaufort name finally break them both? Subscribe to Screen Explain for more.